God bless you, my beloved brothers and sisters. May the peace of God be on you all. Welcome back to another video. Um, as you know, per the last video, we are doing a new series where we are diving deep into the Word, where we are grabbing one word and going to the Word of God and connecting those things together. And we are going to apply that word to our lives so that we can continue to move forward, so that we can continue to walk according to the will of God, so that we can continue to move forward in this walk with Christ. As we know, the walk with Christ is not easy. It's not easy to do this walk, and being a believer is not the easiest thing as well. But we have a big difference between someone who is a believer and someone who is not a believer, which is having God by our side. And so, without further ado, this is the series called Word to Word. And as you know, that we are doing the word disciplined, being a disciplined person. Last time we spoke about Psalms 91 and how we need to be disciplined enough to live in the presence of God. This time around, we are going to the book of John, and we're going to see how being disciplined is applied in John. We're going to specifically John chapter 8, verse 31 to 32, which some of you may know this, some of you may not. But the word of God reads, "Then Jesus said to those Jews who believed him, 'If you abide in my word,'" notice, there's a pause right here. Notice how abide is the same thing that was happening, it's the same thing that we saw or we read in Psalms 91. We'll continue. "If you abide in my word, you are my disciples indeed." In other words, if you are disciplined enough to live in my word, then you are my disciples. And just verse 31 is telling us that we need to be disciplined. You see what I'm saying? We need to be disciplined to and that's when we will be considered disciples. Because if you're not living in the word of God, then we won't be considered disciples. And verse 32 says, "And you shall know that the truth, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." So that is an add-on to being a disciple. So when we see this, we see that Jesus is talking to the Jews who believed him, and he is teaching them pretty much what we're going through right here, right now, where we are discussing some of the things that we need to do this walk correctly. And the word that we have been discussing is being disciplined, someone who is committed, someone who sets goals and is committed to get those goals. What's our goal? What's our end goal? Our end goal is to be in heaven, is to get to heaven, excuse me. Our goal is to one day be forever, eternally in the presence of God up there in heaven. If we don't go by way of death first, or if we go when he decides to come down and come get the great church that we are waiting for. But in the meantime, we are in this world. And we know that in this world, we are going to suffer because this world is just what it is, you know? And as believers, as disciples of Jesus Christ, we are supposed to uh, go about our lives certain way in order to make it, in order to stay within the narrow path. Now, in this narrow path, we have to be disciplined. And that's what we see in the book of John, chapter 8, verse 31 and verse 32, where it says that if you abide in my word, if you're disciplined enough to live in my word, then you are my disciples. And guess what? Not only that, but the truth, you will know the truth. Now, if you recall correctly, Jesus in the same book spoke later and says, "I am the way, I am the life, and I am the truth." If I'm not mistaken, I don't think I flipped that around. But I know that he says, "I am the truth. I am the truth." He says, "I am the truth." So if we live in the word of God, that we know, that means that we know Jesus. If we are disciplined enough, we get to a different level of knowledge of Jesus. We get to know him differently. We get so much more closer. but it's all within the determination of being in his presence once more. It's all within the determination of being or being disciplined enough to live within the word of God, being disciplined enough to live within that. And we shall know him. And when we know him, he will set us free. So when we are disciplined enough to live within the word of God, we will know Jesus and Jesus will set us free. That right there, we see how the word discipline is applied here in the book of John. We took the word discipline, we took it to Psalms 91. We took the word discipline, we're taking it to John chapter 8, verse 31 and 2. So, again, once more, share this with people, share this along. Make sure that people that you think are in need, people that are might be struggling with the walk with Christ, people who are not within the walk, make sure you share this out with them. Remember that the number one goal is for us to make it to heaven. We are supposed to help each other out. It's not about, yo, who did this, who accomplished that, who did that. It's not about that. It's all about us getting there together. So let's help each other out. I know that this narrow walk, this narrow path is not easy, but I know that we can be disciplined enough to stay within, disciplined enough to abide in the word, and then disciplined enough to know the truth, to know Jesus, so that he can set us free from anything that we are carrying from our past, anything, any burden, any generational curse. He can set us free, but our job is to stay disciplined and abide in the word. So God bless you, and I will see you soon. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the like button. Share this out once more. Share this out. Spread it out. Spread the gospel. Don't forget, we are meant to spread the gospel. God bless you, and I will see you soon.